Greetings, family. We are live, I believe. And let's first do our technical check. Am I loud and clear? Press 1 in the chat. You can hear me clearly. Appreciate it. Testing 1, 2, 3. Mic check. Oh, looks like no one can hear me. Okay. No echo, D. Everything's fine. I guess everything's fine. Awesome. Okay. Well, we will start off with a quick little song here. All good. Awesome to honor this particular musician who's actually will be part of this whole. He plays a role here in this presentation today. Just honor this individual here quickly and his legendary music by playing one of his songs while everyone joins us here. And let me know if you can hear this here. Let me know if you can hear this here, D. This music here. It was loud and clear. Can you hear that? You can hear that. Perfect. Okay, there we go, family. That's enough. Just want to kind of play that a little bit there. Old classic from Lord Troutman, who's actually part of this here presentation in the form of an heir. Okay? Um, am I loud and clear? Greetings there, Cherokee. Totally welcome. Hopefully everyone can hear me. There's no echo. There's no problem there because we're gonna, I learned from the previous presentation, and hopefully everything is set up perfectly. All right, family, welcome. And it's time to get down to some serious business. It's time to get down to some very, very serious business. Um, so, why have we been doing all of this genealogical research and, sharing with the family, genealogy? I dedicate series to genealogy. Imagine, to use an analogy of, I don't know all the guys who ever played football, but during the training. Thanks, Mike. I'm loud and clear. During the training, when you're a football player, you lift all those weights. There's Hell Week, and guys are like, why are we lifting all these weights? But you do all of that to get to a point when it's game time and it's crunch time, and you need to make that play. Someone needs to stand out and make that play that's going to change everything to victory. That's why we do all this stuff, family. Because it's just not about showing genealogy and helping, family, crack through barriers and get back. Once you get there, what are we going to do about it? What do you do with your genealogy? Welcome, Cherokee Empress. Marva Monroe there. Welcome. Well, you get to a point, and we're gonna demonstrate that point, because we're doing all this to claim our ancestral lands, family. That's the purpose of everything we do. That's it, right? And we're going to kind of open things up a little bit to the family, so the family can see a template, a working template, and they can see that pot of gold at the end of the tunnel, and say, okay, wow, and that will motivate others to actually get serious, and then you'll see the value in this. Now, remember, I said this in a previous presentations, family, and I'll repeat it again here, that think of our genealogical records as precious their resources, minerals, like gold, oil. They're in that same realm, family. Welcome, Chief Bull. They're in that same realm. Why is that? Because we're the heirs of the land. And so, and this is what they've kept from us, right? So we're going to get into that and show a real life example in time of an individual who's claiming his land and honoring his ancestors. But before we do that, we have to, everything we think we know will only keep us from claiming our ancestral land, so we must empty our cups. We must empty our cups, family. And a lot of people, you do this fear mongering, but our ancestors were fearless, so we must be fearless. And we all know the saying, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for my ancestors are with me. Their rod and their staff comfort me. And that's how we must go down this path, family. Right? Welcome, Aretha. Welcome, Elki Aman Hotel Bay. So that's how we must go through this path, family. Because, this here is what we die for. This is what you'd be willing to die for. Okay? So there's no more games and playing around. And we have to get rid, welcome, Empress Hobart, of the diversions, family. Because they're going to throw them in our faces every time. Welcome, Sister Carol. Right? They put hundreds of millions of dollars into that back to out of Africa paradigm. They're bringing over these, African sleeper cells to replace us and other foreigners. And they're coming here talking on our behalf as if they know who we are. They're the ones on television now. Joy Reid. These people have already replaced us, and we've already lost major battles. But we're the ones who have something that no one else on the planet has. We're the heirs of the land of milk and honey, family, that everyone's trying to get to, and everyone's trying to, create these, these fictitious Hollywood narratives to keep us ignorant. But it's a new day here now, and things have changed for the better, and so we are the few, the strong, and who's gonna go and honor our ancestors here, family. So welcome James, welcome Pretty Kitty and Timika Green. All right, so but now we're gonna first expand our minds a bit here, right? We're going to expand our minds a bit because we must prepare our minds and our hearts. Some of us know this. Some of us suspect this. And some of us are in deep denial of this. But deep inside our very soul and essence, we all know that we are the standard. We all know that we are not the recessive. Although, whether we're aware of it or not, they put us in that box, the recessive box. Oh, we're just from one little piece of geography on the entire planet. And that one piece of geography on the entire planet is located in parts of West Africa. So they want to put you in a little box on this planet, family, and say, no, you're only from there. You can only be from there. You're recessive. You're insignificant. You are not the standard. You are an anomaly. And we've bought into it. We're an anomaly. Strange. Reject. As if we were born, as a genetic biological repulsive thing, family, and we bought it. But deep in your heart, you know that's not the truth. You know that. So we're going to just go around the globe a little bit. We're going to go around the globe a little bit just to show an example of where in parts of the world, whether it's a couple hundred years ago, 500 years ago, the population was different than the current population. So this is what we have to remember. The population was different, right? So let me share my screen here. And we're going to do this first, because we have to reiterate this here and show examples. And yes, indeed, James, indeed, but all that changes. All that changes. So here we go here, family. We're going to start and going with this particular location here. Here's an article. I actually presented this article way back in, I believe it was 2013, 2012, on when there was Blog Talk. And I'm going to reintroduce it because this place is actually well known, and we just will give an example. We're going to start in this part of the world first. Okay, here's the article, the Taipei Times. Let's make sure everyone, you should be able to see that. I should be screen sharing now. Hold on a second. screen sharing. Okay, yes, I am screen sharing. Okay. All right, so Taipei Times. This is an article that goes way back to 2004, family. And the title of this article, in honor of to quote it exactly what the title is, in honor of the little black people. The Sai Siat tribe of Hsinchu and Maoli will perform a solemn rite this weekend to commemorate a race of people that they exterminated. So let's just read a little bit of this here. Drinking, singing, dancing are expected to take place deep in the mountains of Maoli and Hsinchu when the ritual of the little black people is performed by the Sai Siat tribe once again this weekend. The past 100 years or so, the Sai Siat tribe has performed the songs and rites of the festival to bring good harvests, ward off bad luck, and keep alive the sprint of a race of people who are said to have preceded all others in where? Taiwan. Taipei is in Taiwan, family. In short, in fact, the short black men the festival celebrates are one of the most ancient types of modern humans on this planet, and their kin still survive in Asia today. So we just stop it right there. Just want to kind of brief you on this article. Now, Taiwan, of course, who's claiming Taiwan? Well, China, the CCP. Matter of fact, you know, remember when some of the United States politicians went over there last summer, and China threatened to commence war on Taiwan, and they started, sending jet fighters over there and positioning their war ships there, and they fired some missiles. A few of them came over and hit the waters near me here in Japan. Right? It's Taiwan. But just a few hundred years ago, the people there didn't look like Xi Jinping. And this is how it is all over in this part of the world, right? So, we understand that. We know that deep in our hearts that we're not the recessive. We're not an anomaly. We're not some, genetic, sin. And we're just few in number and come from one little location in the western parts of what they call Africa. That's not the case. Okay? So now I'm going to show a couple of videos because this is pertinent to the heir we're going to feature who's claiming his land now. So we can understand this here. I'm going to play a couple of videos and shout out to this channel here. It is entitled Royals, Melanated Royals of Europa. And it's from Re-Educated TV. And he had, great information, especially in the terms of paintings and as such. And I recommend the family going over to subscribe. There's a lot of great information there. So let's just play this here. This is part one here. Let me know if you can hear this. Put a one in the chat if you can hear that. Everyone can hear that? No, you can't hear that? Okay, well, we don't have to hear it, family. Just look at the images. Matter of fact, that's better anyway. No sound. No, that's fine, family. No sound is better because I won't get. They won't try to take it down, but just look at the images. Yeah, don't worry about the sound. Just look at the images. Yeah, don't worry. No sound. We don't need sound. That's Frederick the Wise, 1463. Now, let's not concern ourselves with geography and location, okay? Because all that's been hijacked. The point is that these are the royals, um, and from my, which I'm not going to really get deeply into it, but from what I've been, my inference, my conclusion, based upon the evidence and years of research, that everything came out of America. We set up colonies all over the planet, and then yeah, the main jurisdiction would have been in America, and then those other jurisdictions would have been part of that, right? So, but you just need to know what individuals look like hundreds of years ago, right? All right, so um, because this ties directly in to, so that's enough. Just want to kind of show that, right? And you can go to that channel. You can see more there. Um, so make sure I'm loud and clear. I am loud and clear, correct, family? You can at least hear me. All right, now, so we've seen the visual. Um, Now we're going to go to the. Put my headphones on. I'm going to go to written material, um, which is we must understand. And I presented this before. I'm going to present it again. I'm going to go over the written material now, family. Can you put a one in the chat if you can hear me? Make sure everything is working there. Yes, thanks, Mike. Okay, so now we've seen some visuals, and now we're gonna see the go over some muster rolls um, again. Um, Now we'll go over this here again here, and all this ties on here. Now the heir who I'm going to present today, his ancestor was part of this here colonial um, regiment here as well as a colonial soldier, Revolutionary War soldier. So we're going to go over the honors to Curran Mayo, who brought this Virginia colonial soldiers out, and we're going to go over this here. Now this is in the 1755, Second Command of Rangers, commanded by Captain John Ashby, October 21st, 1755. Okay, and so Virginia colonial soldiers, and So 1755, before the United States of America came together and established itself, way before that, 30 plus years before that. Okay, so and now let's go over this here. Now we're going to this part here. This is how I like to start it here. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33 names, family, on this particular list. 33 names, okay? Now, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So, 22 of the 33 names are melanated, either described as dark or brown. Now, I didn't even factor in the sandy complexion, because there's a few, like 4, it says sandy complexion. Didn't factor that in. But 22 of the 30, so we might as take out the 4 sandy. That gives us 29. 22 of 29 were melanated. 22 of 29, family. Do the math and the percentage on that. Now, let's see what their occupation was, because this is relevant. Leonard Harper. All right, Leonard Harper, August 18th, 1755. This is when he joined. He was 5'10", dark, Virginia. He's from Virginia, a farmer. It's like a landowner. I'm working on a farm. Could be his farm. It could be a family farm. So, this is a very, very important genealogical resource, family. Maybe you were a Harper and you have ancestors from this area, but you may have hit a wall in the mid 1800s or the late 1800s and can't crack that wall. It's because when you do Leonard Harper's genealogy, and if he was 28 years old in the year 1755, that means what year was he born? He would have been born around 1727. So when you look him up in the genealogical records, it's going to say, they use the term, because now, one thing about the census records, family, we have to understand, and I went over this again, but I'm just going to brief you on it now, okay? We have to understand that the census records, which were records of accounting that we created, but from the mid 1900s, like 1930, 1940, 1950, they started reconstructing these records, altering them. Okay? And so when you see terms like WHITE, white, now the original census records had a term, free white persons. And as I presented the legal definition of free white persons, it does not apply to pale skins at that time. The Naturalization Act of 1870, that's when they hijacked that term. So when you look up Leonard Harper in the genealogical records, census records, you're going to see white, and then you're going to be not even connected. That's you. But now that you have the original muster roll, and you see him, it could be one of your relatives, and this would be a way for you to break the barrier. And so that's why when we get to titles, land titles, all these land titles, are sitting here unclaimed, and that was part of the purpose of reconstructing these records, so the heirs will never claim them, and so they can have what's called controlling interest on our ancestral lands, and then reap and suck out the minerals, etc. But this is a valuable resource here, right? And of course, the one I'm going to feature, his ancestors was part of the colonial records as well. But so, and then here, let's continue here. Here, William Dotson. He was a farmer. He's from Virginia, brown complected. There's a James Frazier. He's a Highlander farmer. Right now, let's get down to here. Let me get down to. Okay, like here's another. Look at Moses Arnold. He was 5'8", brown complected, 22 years old, Virginia. He's a planter. So that means a landlord, a planter. So that means he owned acres and acres of land. Most likely during that time, there'll be land grants, patented land in this Arnold name. Okay. So let's look at. Let me go to the one more of these Virginia colonial soldiers here. Okay. This is July 13th, 1756. Right? And again, just to give it some perspective, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 names on here, right? And quickly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So eight, well over 65% are melanated. Now, I didn't even factor in the sandy, okay? Didn't factor that in, or the ruddy. I didn't even factor that in, right? So let's go over this here. Let me show you something here. So Samson Franklin, he joined September 1755. 20 years old at the time, 5 feet 5 inches. He's a planter from Virginia, brown complected. Are you a Franklin? You have a job to do, right? Here's another one, John Anderson. He was 5'4", planter. And saying he's Scotch, swarthy, black hair. But Anderson, this could be your ancestor. That means there's land there for you to claim. Here's another one, John Flowers, 5'8", planter, English, brown complected with brown hair. Flowers family. All right. Another planter, brown complected with dark brown hair, Thomas Gardner. Here's another one, John Meigs, 5 feet 6. He's a planter from Virginia, brown complected, brown hair. So Meigs family, right? So I'm sure in the Virginia, in those deeds offices, in the what they called the land patent book, the Meigs could be in there with the hundreds of acres or even thousands of acres of land that you never knew about, right? So now, I want to introduce our guy, Lord Sanford, and this will be part 1 because this will be a part 2. I'll bring him on for an interview. He may come on later during this presentation, maybe, but if not, he'll definitely be here during part 2. I call him Lord Sanford. Okay, and so similar to these names, his ancestors also was a documented colonial Revolutionary War soldier. Okay, so he put the work in, did the research, connected himself to the name on the land grant, and currently fighting for his land, claiming his land. He already so let me start here. Let's make sure everyone can hear me here. Okay, great. Let's see. Everyone can hear me. Great. Okay, so now part of his process, he at law he already owned. So not only did he find the land grant, right, and connect himself to it, but he owns it at law. And this was before, he made the claim on it, which is a legal claim in the federal courts. But before that, there's another process of making sure you own it at law, which he completed. But let me first show just want to quickly show the genealogical breakdown, right? Let me show this to the family here. The genealogical breakdown. Hold on. Let's see what this looks like here, okay? So you can see it. And of course, it's the Finney, Lord Finney is his ancestor, Benjamin Finney. Okay? So now, of course, family, remember, doing your genealogical research, remember, we're entering the house of horrors. I love to use this analogy because it makes it simple for everyone to understand, right? So, the house of horrors, unfortunately, we have to be real and honest, the majority of us fall victim to the sorcery created by these witches and warlocks. And they got all these ghouls and goblins popping out, scaring us. Oh, it's the ghoul coming out. You were a slave being butt broken. Oh, they had breeding farms. Oh, the witty lynch. They used to tear your limbs off by tying you to horses going in opposite directions. Oh, no, it's the year of return. Let's go back to Ghana. All these things we're seeing when we're walking through this house of horrors, scaring the living shit out of us, family. Which caused us to be passive and to dishonor our ancestors. And they've replaced our ancestors with heroes for us to worship. Heroes in the form of Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Louis Farrakhan, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton. Is Al Sharpton your ancestor? Mike Fry? What about Martin Luther King? Is that your ancestor? Eris Johnson? Has any of these heroes contacted any of us personally to tell us who our paternal and maternal ancestors were? Have they contacted any of the family in the chat, any of the family listening around the world to say, hey, Karen Williams, hey, I got all your information. Do you know that your fourth paternal grandfather owned 160 acres? Did you get that call? We never got the call, family, from the heroes they put in front of us. On the contrary, what did the heroes tell us? What did Van Sertima tell us? What did Dr. Ben tell us? Oh, we came over on some slave ships. Then they sell us this whole romantic fantasy of ancient Egypt. Someplace way over there in some godforsaken desert, family. And before you know it, we're 50 years old, we're 75 years old, we're 80 years old, and we're dead, and we die in darkness. Victims of the witches and the warlocks. So, again, let's look at this genealogical breakdown. Oh, and the most scariest ghoul and goblin that pops out when we're walking down that house of horrors pathway, family, is when you're doing your genealogy, you'll see stuff like this here case right here, Benjamin Finney. When you pop in Benjamin Finney, all kinds of Albions are all show. They pop up as if that's their ancestor. They even have these images of pale skin images of Benjamin Finney. So if you think that could be a possible ancestor when you're walking down that house of horrors, you're going to be discouraged because of the sorcery they threw in front of you. But they didn't work with Lord Sanford. He didn't fall for that. He didn't fall for that. So from Benjamin Finney, they gave birth to a John P. Carlson in 1814. And then from John Carlson and Mary Ann Finney, gave birth to Henry J. Carlson. Henry J. Carlson and Ella Lavinia Ponder gave birth to Ann E. Carlson. And of course, Ann E. Carlson married Monroe Troutman, Roger Troutman's ancestor too. That's why I honored him with the song in the beginning. So Lord Sanford is Roger Troutman is his cousin or uncle, I believe, but he's a Troutman on his line. Married Ann E. Carlson. They gave birth to Doc Troutman. Doc Troutman married Minnie Blackwell. They gave birth to Rufus Troutman. Rufus Troutman married Elizabeth Beard, who gave birth to Mary Ann Barron. Mary Ann Barron had a child with Jack Ellis and gave birth to Stephanie Jones. And of course, Stephanie Jones gave birth to her son, Vince A. Sanford, Lord Sanford, who's making his claim for his ancestral lands family. Okay? Now during the genealogical, this is what they hijacked from Ann Carlson. So you know on the like 1900 census, 1910, they have her on there with the B, right? But then when you go like to 1880, they hijacked her and put W, and they started here. But why would they hijack Ann Carlson? Oh, Ann Carlson is an heir of Adam Carlson, another major landlord. Okay, so of course Lord Sanford has those land grants as well that he's going to go after the Carlson one next, but he's starting with the Finney one. All right, so just to give the family here, let's pull this up here. Just see here's a copy of the land grant here. All right, pull that up so you can see it. So this is how you empower and invoke the power of your genealogy, family. Because the genealogy is a key to unlock your ancestral treasure box. That none of the heroes they gave us, they didn't tell us any of this. Okay, so we see here, it's a Georgia land grant, and of course Georgia, there issued its own land grants here, by His Excellency Jared Irvin, Governor, Commander of Chief of the Army and Navy of the state of Georgia, and the militia thereof. And of course, similar language. To whom these presents shall come. Benjamin Finney. So I have given and granted, and by these presents in the name and behalf of this state, do give and granted to Benjamin Finney of the 6th District, Columbia County, son of Benjamin, his heirs and the signs forever, all that tract or land, lot of land containing 202.5 acres, situated and lying in between the 24th District, Wilkinson County, Georgia. So that's 202.5 acres of land, family. Right? So we see that there. And now again, before he made the claim, he went through a process to make sure he owns it at law. And then during that process, before he made the legal claim for it, he was berated with offer letters to sell. So I'm not going to give details of the name, but here's so look at this here, family. Look at this here. Okay, this is we have to stand steadfast on this, right? So, oh, dear Vince, I invest in land and notice that you have all ownership in Wilkinson County, Georgia. This being the case, would you entertain the idea of selling? Because I would be interested in purchasing. Sometimes land ownership can be burdensome, or selling this asset could help with long-term plans. If you have questions, contact me. But of course, he didn't sell. He's not going to sell his ancestral land. He's not an idiot. But, some of us, if we find this, we'll sell for a few $1,000,000. Unfortunately, we have to be real. A few of us will do that. Contact the guy who's sending an offer letter. Hey, I give you $3-4 million for it tomorrow. Some of us may do that, but not the smart ones. The $3 million will go in a month. Land stays forever, family. And see, and we have to get back to being competent individuals like our ancestors were. And they were brilliant. They set up this patent system for us today to claim it. This is what I keep saying over and over. So, there, once he owns it at law, you do the final step, which is to make that claim, family, which is to make that claim. Right? And of course, you have to be competent. You have to be competent to make that claim. And then, you have to do your research, and I'll quickly show a few seconds of this, him driving on his land here to look at it. Let's make this bigger. Show some of this here. There's no sound, but this is him driving here, and this is his land, family. 202 plus acres, right? And there's a lot of foot research involved. Once you do your genealogy, you connect yourself to your ancestor on that land grant or land patent. You have to physically go to the location, and this is look how immense that is. Look at all that, and they have certain structures on it now. It's all of his land right here. It's all of his ancestral land. Look at this. They got that structure over there, right? So yeah, so. But once you understand the importance of this, we will be motivated to put the work in if we can see that end result. So, and then of course, let me show these here. You have to make that final move, which is the claim, the legal claim, and that is a legal process. Ancestors suing the current defendants who are currently controlling your land. We have to remember, family, the land is not sitting there freely waiting for us. Now, this land grant was issued in hold on, let's go back to it here. Let's go back to it. Okay, let's go back to it here. Look at the date. This date. Okay. Finney, his heirs and signs to their own proper use. Now this is key sentence here, because this makes it inalienable. So, right, so Benjamin Finney, his heirs and assigns to his and their own proper use, benefit and behoove forever and fee simple. Forever and fee simple. Their own proper use. This makes it inalienable. And of course, the most important thing is being competent at law. Not just competent, cosmic level competent, family. And then here, given under my hand and great seal of the state, this 28th day of October in the year 807. 1807, it was granted. See, we don't have to pay attention to Africans or Afrocentric Pan-Africans, family. We put the work in, they're off the board automatically. They can't join the conversation. So to any African out there who are trying to pull us around, Prove it. Prove you had ancestors taken from your villages, sent to Virginia, Georgia. Find them. Are you related to Finney? You related to Lord Sanford, who's making a claim? Is Lord Sanford your cousin? Prove it, because that means that you have the same claim. You don't give them no energy, family. What was the condition of their lands in 1807? All right, so 1807, family. So let's go here. So you put that work in, right? And you put the work in. So here's a photo of the courthouse that connects to where his land is located, and this is in Georgia, Macon, Georgia. This is located in Macon, Georgia, courthouse. And now I point this out, fam. Look at the architecture. Look at this architecture here. So, and when I travel, the architecture communicates to me. It talks to me. Look at this ancient structure. There's no telling how old this is, family. Now, this is thousands of years old. Can't put it, we don't know the date on it, but it's thousands of years old. And now look, you see this material on the upper part here? That's limestone, family. That's limestone. And of course, in many parts of Georgia, that's one of the minerals and one of the resources under the ground is limestone. So this beautiful structure, ancient structure, and during a particular time, and even now, it's used as the federal building, the U.S. courthouse. But this structure, when it was created, however long it was, however old it was, and when it was first created, we don't know what it was used for. But currently, we use it as a courthouse. All right. And let me show another image of it. So I got a kind of a more of a standout view. Now you see the bottom portion of it here, right there. That's a very, very old structure there. And this image of it here. It's another image there. Yep, limestone. Just beautiful architecture. And then of course, yours truly and Lord Sanford in front of the building. Right, so that's standing in front of the building there, family. Right there. Yep. Okay. So then here's the filed complaint in the Southern District Court of Georgia. Okay. Vince Eric Sanford, Lord Sanford, against this particular, and there's only one defendant, one guy he has an LLC, and complaint for ejectment pursuant to Georgia Code for damages for the unauthorized use and engagement of timber and or mineral operations. So this is what he's suing, not only just for the land to get that back, but for any unauthorized engagement of timber and or mineral operations. Because a lot of these lands, family. Now remember, these lands are in what's called unincorporated areas. Not incorporated areas, unincorporated area, which means it's not part of the state, it's not part of the municipality. And on these lands, when there's a lot of timber, and you have these farms, they have no jurisdiction. They cannot tell you what you can and cannot grow on your farm. So think about the time when our ancestors were on their lands in these unincorporated areas. It's like their own kingdom. right? So, and again, just to give it some perspective, this is 202 acres. 1 acre, family, is 43,000 square feet. 1 acre. Now we know that 5,000 square feet is a nice sized home, but 1 acre is 43,000 square feet. And there's 202 acres, family. So that just gives us a perspective of what size we're dealing with, what scale and level our ancestors were on. See, so when you're doing your genealogy and you're coming across these things and you see WHIT and all these, because when you're on Ancestry, you see other people's accounts and all these people claiming that's just against the House of Horrors. It's not real. See, instead of being fearful of the ghouls and goblins popping out when we're walking down the House of Horrors, you smile at them. Hello, oh, you're so cute. Because you know it's not real. But because, see, the people that are trying to hijack and claim your ancestors, they're only doing that just to prevent you from doing it. They'll only do it on like a platform like Ancestry or MyHeritage, etc. Those people aren't using genealogy to go make a legal claim for it under oath in a courtroom. They're not going to do that. So that's what we must understand. And this is the point we must get to, family. This is why we do all this research to get to this point. To get to this point. Right? Let's see here. Right, so this is what we must do here to get to this point here. Let me see whether Lord Sanford is around to join me here. Hold on 1 second, family. Let's see. Okay, so I don't think he is, let's see, around there. Alright, so this is what I'll do. Never done this before. But I will, because, I will. I will, for the very first time, I hope I can know how to do this here, but I will put the link in the chat if anyone wants to come up to have a quick conversation. When I presented, I presented what I wanted to present today. There's going to be a part 2 where I will actually bring on Lord Sanford to talk. But if anyone wants to come up, you're welcome to. I won't bite you. Any questions or anything? Don't have to feel free to ask me directly. Come and talk to me. Stop screen. I don't want to do that. Okay, I think I stopped sharing. Okay. All right. No one's interested? Okay. Is that the correct link? Maybe a few seconds there. But we see that, family, and many of us, but we have to stay strong. I will advise no one to, once you own your ancestral land, to ever sell that, no matter how many offer letters you get. You must stay steadfast. Remember the case of the Bruce family down in Manhattan Beach. I'm from Los Angeles, and that's a very, high-end area down there where the Bruce family had that resort. But unfortunately, the current heirs. Now, of course, unfortunately for them, they didn't do the legal process. So that was initiated by Barbara Hahn, the daughter of Kenneth Hahn, one of the board of supervisors who came up with that plan to do that for the Bruce family. But the ultimate plan there was they knew they were going to get it back in the end anyway, because they set the terms, and so they did all the showboating to make it look like they're doing something good, and so they gave it back to the Bruce family with some conditions that the county of Los Angeles can buy it back, and the deal was that they'd pay $413,000 the first year, $413,000 to the family the second year, and then in the third year, the LA County will have the option to purchase the land back from the family for $20 million. But what happened, family? In the first year, the family couldn't wait. He's like, well, give us the $20 million and we'll give it back to you. So they ended up selling it back to the county of Los Angeles for $20 million. And of course, LA County's high-fiving each other in the background. Job well done, because they have it back now. And the family got $20 million. Now, let's say that there's 10 heirs, and they have to split that. It's $2 million, right? $2 million apiece. That's not going to last. Do you know in that area of Manhattan Beach, you can't even buy a home for $2 million there. It's so expensive. And that family, their ancestor bought 2 parcels. That totals 14 acres, family. That's a lot of land in that part of Los Angeles there. So we don't just easily sell back our land that we fought and finally got back into the family after hundreds of years. It's never the thing to do. Right? So, now I see a question there. Okay, I'm on Hopper Bay, the trust or the patent. Well, there are different instruments. They're different instruments. A trust instrument, you see, a trust, if you create your trust, you can own your assets. You can put all your assets in the trust to protect them. So you can, your patented lands, once you own that, you can, put that in the trust, so you will not have any personal liability, right? So they're two different instruments with 2 different purposes, right? So, and of course, my grandmother, and I've mentioned this before, she set up a revocable trust for us and put both of her real property in the trust, and but yeah, the trust is to put your assets in the name of the trust so you can protect your assets from creditors, etc. So let's say if you have a current property with a deed on it, and if it's in your name, let's say God forbid, but you go out and you accidentally hit somebody with your car. And they can go after you, and if you don't have the cash to pay damages, they go after your assets. And if you have your current house in your name, that would be an asset they can go after. But if that asset is in your trust, they can't go after it. So they're 2 different instruments there, Noble. Any other questions? Now's the time to ask me while I'm here. You can also hit the link there. Come on up. You want to come up there, Aretha? I hope that's the link. That should be it. Hold on, that should be the link there. Yeah, that's it. And now, of course, you once you claim your land, and you go through the second process, which is the lawsuit, because you want it. Remember, again, so as I was stating before, the land is not freely waiting for us. And like in Lord Sanford's case, it was issued in 1807. And then after his ancestor died, it's not like it's just been waiting there for 200 years for him. No, they're currently on it, controlling our ancestral lands, family. Individuals, entities are on it, controlling it, and we must get them off. It's a legal fight. No one's giving you back anything freely. Doesn't work like that. And if you're not competent, you will lose. It's a legal fight, and you must be competent. You must have the experience. You must know how to defeat a lawyer, multiple lawyers, and how to put a dirty judge feet to the fire. Because that's the kind of arena you're going into. Monsters, family. Multiple head monsters that when that gate opens up and that monsters come fire breathing dragon with multiple heads come charging after you, and if you don't have the power and the competence to slay that demon, you will be eaten alive. Because they're not giving back your land with easily like that. No, you have to destroy them. Okay, look like some. Okay, device is not connected. Okay, someone's coming on. Your device is not connected there, Tola. Try again. Go back out and come back in again. Okay, yeah. Empress Hober's at a barbecue, so you can come on up there, Aretha. There. Yeah, try again there, Tola. Wait a minute. You will need to connect their mic before you can add them. Yeah, connect your mic. Follow the instructions. And your camera, or your mic, and I can add you there. It says the message says your device is not connected. Yes, it is. It's a battle. It's a war. Noble Hope T Bay. Yes, it is. Because they're not easily giving up your land. You know, some people can be on your land, sucking oil off of it, other minerals. You know, having agricultural farming businesses, and they could have been on your land for 30 years, 40 years, made hundreds of millions of dollars. You think they're going to just easily give it back to you? No. You have to get them off of there. Yeah, I'll drop the link again here. Let's see. There you go. There's the link again. And so let me show an example, family, here. Hold on a second. Let me go ahead and show this here to the family here. Because we have to give this lady her props, honor her, and let me show this to the family here. Okay, check this out here. Some of you may have heard of this here case. Let me quickly show this. And we have to honor her, give her props. So here's a case. Josephine Wright and her fight for her land. So right now, in Hilton Head, South Carolina, a 93-year-old grandmother right now is holding on to her little 2 acres that, of course, in the Hilton Head family, it was all melanated. Pre-1980, pre-1960. For centuries, thousands of years. Now Hilton Head when they, instituted Operation Queen Quet to bring that African motif to the people over there, and they bought into that. And then before they know it, they start bringing in these developing companies, taking their lands, selling their lands in these auctions, tax auctions, with impunity. And now the entire population of the people have changed. And Hilton Head now is no longer majority melanated. They got these development communities, these subdivisions, and so she has her 2 acres, and this company wants to build a little bit more, and they want it going across her land. So this development company it's suing her. This 93-year-old lady who's fighting this company. We have to honor her. So, the development company wants to create a 147 unit neighborhood, and they want to encroach upon her land, which they're trying to say. I mean, this is what's going on, family. Honors to her. She's the defendant in the case, fighting for her land. Hold on, I'm not screen sharing. Hold on. That's what's going on. I'm not screen sharing. Present. Share screen. Share screen. There we go. Share. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, right here, family. It's the article. So Josephine Wright in her fight for her land. And they're building development companies building it's called Bailey Point LLC. They're suing her. And they're building a 147 unit neighborhood there on Hilton Head, but they want to encroach upon part of her land, and they've been before this they've been trying to get her to sell. They've been giving her offers, and she didn't bite. And oh my God, it's so you want to talk about being disrespected. Guess how much they offered to buy her land for, family? One offer, literally $36,000. This is what they think about us, especially in old ladies, 93 years old. They try to dupe her and get her land for $36,000, family. So because she wouldn't sell, now they're suing her, right? So yes, there's a lot of people out here, fighting for their land, and we must do the same, because this is why we do all this genealogical weightlifting, right? This is the purpose of all of this, and our ancestors put us in this position to make this possible. Yes. Exactly, Dr. Baker Williams. Yeah. Unfortunately, the best case scenario is we must initiate the lawsuit, and you always want to be the plaintiff. You always want to be the plaintiff. And let me show this as well of her, so you can see her image here. This is sad here, family. What's going on here with her? Now, the land actually was from her husband, and then they say, oh, well, it was in her husband's family around the Civil War. Then that means it's been there way before that, right? It's South Carolina, Dr. Baker Williams, Hilton Head, South Carolina. So let me show her here. So here she is right here. Um, bless her heart there, you know. There's never. I don't know if you can hear that. I don't know if you can hear that, family. I don't think you can hear that, can you? Hold on. I don't think you can hear that. Can't hear it. Yes, Marla. She has children. She has great grandchildren, and yeah, we'll deal with the technical deals next time. But I just wanted to, this is her here. She has great grandchildren, and her children flew down from other locations to support her in this fight. Um, yeah, even the devil, one of the devils himself, Ben Crump, put it out on his Instagram, meaning that it's a noble fight and to support her. So she's getting some traction out there. Um, yeah, but and she's one of the last ones standing there in Hilton Head um, to try to fight for her land. So I just wanted to kind of honor her there. Um, yes, I'll put my email in the chat there. I'll put my email in the chat. Hold on. Yeah, this is heartbreaking, Aretha. Okay, that's my email there. Right. So now we can see that our purpose, family. You understand what our purpose is. Okay? We can see it, so no more excuses. We don't have to fear the ghouls and the goblins. And they're not going to be they will put obstacles, but now we must jump over the obstacle, go around it, go under it, smash it, because you have that power given to you by your ancestors. You can smash it. Yes, exactly, James Smith. That was part of the entire op, that Queen Quet op, to bring that crap over there and the people bought it, made themselves foreigners, and then the developers came right behind and started taking up their land, having these hitting them with tax, unpaid tax debt, so they can sell their lands at these auctions, and boom, poof. Before you know it, they're no longer there, and you got all these other people in there, living there in their neighborhoods, and they're in the minority now. Mission completed on the side of the enemy. Mission completed. So, but the Operation Queen Quet, who they say they're from Africa, did they offer them any kind of inheritance in Africa where they say that they came from? Did they give them something there? No. So the land that's been right up under their feet the entire time, owned by their ancestors, and fee simple, gone. And unfortunate for them, the majority of them do not have the legal competence to get it back. But at least a 93-year-old sister is trying to fight for hers. But that's the sad case that's going on in those Sea Islands off the coast of South Carolina and Georgia there. And it's a sad thing, right? So, but, I'm going to drop the link again if anyone wants to come up. If not, you can allow the family to enjoy your Sunday evening there. I know it's late there, 11 p.m. on the East Coast. But now we know we with our job. Now we see the importance of our genealogical records. We see the importance now, because this is the key to unlock that ancestral treasure box. And it's in the form of slapping lawsuits on the people that are controlling our lands, right? That's what it's about. So, thanks a lot there, family. Enjoy your evening. Reach out to me if you have any questions or anything there. Good night.